Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Table 501 podcast. I'm Justin, and here are my co-hosts, Ahmed and Shane.
Hello.
Hey,
How are you guys doing today?
I'm
All
doing
right.
pretty good.
I'm okay.
Um, so, how do we want to start this here? Talk about what did we have here?
I think we were gonna start with like the sets that came out and everything. ETCO, Toon Chaos, all the cards
Well,
that came out in that.
first, what's everyone playing?
I'm
Oh,
still
okay.
on Unchained.
I went from trains to possibly building Fluffle to actually having 10 now because I can never ever decide on a deck. But
Did you buy
Did
the
you actually
cards?
buy all the
yeah, I
cards?
got the cards. Yeah, I did.
Let's go.
I kind of forced myself to, so I would actually stick with it. Um, I'm just having not problems, but decision choices to make.
Personally, I'm still sitting on the Ryan U striker list with some variations. Testing stuff like I have an idea for getting double summon in there so that you can more consistently get off the access code combo, but I'm still kind of messing with it. But that's all I really have to say on X. We move on to sets. Okay,
Sure.
cool.
So Eternity Code's a thing that came out and is really good.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit of old news at this point, at least in the TCG. But if you live under a rock, it gave us Link Cross, Access Code Talker, Gearsu, Ghost Mourner. What else did it give us? What else did that fantastic set give us?
Nemesis.
Those, in terms of like meta stuff, I think that about covers it for meta stuff.
I feel like there's something else.
But yeah, definitely the best set we've gotten in a really long time.
Very long time.
At least since I joined. Like Savage Strike was good, Dark Neostorm was good, but the Eternity Code is just so good as a set.
Something else it gave is actual like relevance to Plunder Patrol, which I
Yeah,
think
that's true.
is something that people kind of forget because Plunder Patrol hasn't really performed super well, but it's like one or two cards from actually being a competent. It's already like a rogue contender in my opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna
but
say it's like
It's
it-
a good
actually
road deck.
it's
has
like
a lot of
one or
good
two
like really
cards from like actually popping off. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has some like really cool interaction too.
Yeah.
It was actually one of the decks I was considering, but then I'm too small brain to actually figure out the combos.
They struggle a lot against spell and trap. So if you just lightning storm them, they die. If you evenly
the
match them, they die. So they struggle a lot against spell and traps, which I mean some decks do, but it's not like they can just put in a needle fiber and then go into a Boral Savage and then just end their turn with like two of their ships up equipped with their monsters. As far as negating spell and traps, but like if you have like a monster centric deck, you're in for a rough time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
At least if they're going first. If they're going second, good luck.
Actually, maybe even the best TCG archetype. No. That wouldn't that be Burning Abyss? Burning Abyss is definitely the best TCG
I don't
archetype.
know. Burning Abyss or
I don't-
Dangers. The Dangers isn't really an archetype, but
Yeah.
them as TCG exclusives kind of just like broke open the world of Rogue.
Yeah.
Burning
'Cause-
Abyss definitely was TCG exclusive, weren't they?
I don't know. I wasn't. That's right when I quit. BA was right when I quit.
I forget if they were or not. Plunder Patrol is definitely up there. They're definitely no Dream Mirror or
Yeah.
anything.
Also, what the fuck is this? Salamangrate's got a new card with an
So-
unbelievable amount of text.
So Zebroid X, right?
Yeah, what does this
So
do?
that card, literally nothing. So they have Salamangrate monsters have one Xyz monster in the TCG, which is Mirage Stalio, and that is banned.
It's hard banned.
It's banned. There is another card. It's like a dragon Salamangrate card that's on the OCG right now. That's a rank 4, I think. What level is Zebroid X?
It's I think level 4 itself. Yeah.
Level 4. Okay, yeah, it's a level 4 or it's a rank 4 Salamangreat Great Exceeds monster. So you can get Zeboid X out, and you can't resolve its effect. You can't even attempt to activate its effect because it doesn't have a valid target in the format.
All right, so it's awful.
Yeah,
Good to know.
you don't play it. Also, something else that we got in ETCO was the Dragon Maid, Chamber Dragon Maid.
Oh
which-
yeah, that's right.
Right. Which
And House Dragon Maid.
unfortunately actually made the deck do at least something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate Dragon Maid.
It may be cool to build, but I'm not about to shell out that kind of money.
Fucking
Like,
weave in
yeah,
here.
that and it doesn't do enough. Like
Yeah,
it's
for
okay.
the cost, it doesn't do enough.
Yeah.
It's like if you're gonna spend that money, buy heroes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They at least like are a consistent rogue. They're just bad.
Or build
Anyway.
an actual deck.
We can talk about like the. Is there anything else we want to talk about in Eternity Code here?
Not really.
I was gonna
it's
say
just-
the Nemesis, but I mean,
Nemesis hasn't really done anything, especially now that Colossus is banned. It's
Yeah.
it doesn't. But I mean, at least the boss. Okay, the non-boss monsters are shit. They just search and they're essentially just there for recursion. The boss monsters, like, I don't think as an archetype Nemesis could do anything, but the boss monsters being able to be splashed in like certain decks have some kind of, because I mean, any card that like prevents your opponent from summoning a attribute or a type should have at least some kind of like, you know, something to say about it.
Yeah.
Like kind of this kind of like an honorable mentions kind of section of this.
Right.
Do I think
That's
they'll be
fair.
meta
That's fair.
relevant ever? Probably not. Do I think they can, you know, fuck some shit up if, you know, in like in the right rogue deck, like Protoss in a 10 deck, I think is fine.
Mhm.
That's one of the options I'm using. It's just kind of weird because there has to be a monster of that attribute on the field to actually use it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think we have anything else to cover in ETCO, and we can talk about meta relevance when we get to the meta stuff. So let's move on to Toon Chaos.
There is no good card in Toon Chaos except for Chaos Space.
The Dark Creator,
and Chaos Valkyria.
However, there
And
are a
Chaos
lot of
Creators,
good reprints in this set.
It's a really good reprint set. I'll give you that.
Like, as much as I hate that it got printed or reprinted in the rarities that it got, the Pot of Extravagance now much more affordable.
Yep.
Pot of Desires been reprinted 100 times.
Microcoder getting a TCG printing outside of the video game promo is good for people who want to play Cyber decks. All three of you out there,
who haven't just resorted to playing Salamangreat.
Yeah. Gamma Cyframe.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was just about to say the Cyframes.
That reprint is really nice.
That's good because the ultra rares were going up.
Stardust Dragon. No, I'm kidding.
Hey, it got a collector's rare. So
yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
It's now at least got another like cool printing other than Ghost Rare.
A psychic soldier that rides into battle against security forces on currents of lightning use an autonomics amplifier called Cyframe.
And hey, we definitely did that that supervised reprint, you know.
We got some Infernoble Knight cards.
I was gonna say the Infernoble Knight too,
because I think the rest of them are coming out in Rise of the Duelist.
Yeah, we should have got the fucking structure deck like the OCG did.
Toon Blackluster Soldier is a good card in Toons, but Toons as a deck is.
I'm actually tempted to mess around with this deck casually. I have no interest in ever making this like a main deck, but if the deck's affordable, it'd be fun to play because Toons were always like the casual deck that I really liked. Because I don't know, in the anime, it's a really cool concept to just kind of like fuck over your opponent really hard by like just attacking them directly. Which spoilers, now every card in the game does that. But
yeah,
spoiler, it's not too affordable. Toon Kingdom has been. I don't think it's been reprinted, and it's like let me look it up. Toon Kingdom. It's not. Yeah, it's not reprinted in this. And holy shit. Okay, so the secret rares are $61. So that's
and I'm
fine.
assuming
oh,
it's
that's damage.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Oh, I'm
Cool,
sorry.
cool.
I'm sorry. The secret rares for near mint is 125,
Oh Jesus
perfect.
Christ!
Yeah.
and the ultra rare is 51 right now.
Okay, yeah. So I'm not gonna build it in person because why not just build heroes at that point?
Yeah.
So, but I might mess around with it. So maybe that'll be in a future podcast because I don't know. I've always thought the concept of them is cool. I
Yeah.
wish they
It's
didn't have the stupid they cannot attack the turn they're summoned because who cares in a game like this where OTKing is now like a really meta relevant strategy.
yeah. It's just dumb that Toon Kingdom didn't get reprinted in this,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
was
not
gonna
getting
say
reprinted in the next what is it? What Duelist pack or whatever with Joey and
Pegasus.
Pegasus. Yeah, I forgot what those are called. Legendary Duelist. Yeah. Like why? Why is it not getting reprinted?
Exactly, it's
in
Pegasus
either
deck,
of
and this
those?
set was called Toon Chaos, and we got like what
Yep.
6
Yeah,
Toon
very-
cards.
And it's stupid because it was printed in Legendary Duelist Ancient Millennium, and now that set is getting reduxed and put out pretty soon, and it's not in there. Like why?
Yeah,
Very
I don't
weird.
know.
Very
Konami,
weird.
dude, Konami. Maybe it's gonna be in like the Megatins or something, or maybe Battles of Legend, which comes out
Maybe.
in a couple of weeks now.
Do we have any
Battle-
confirmed like promos for the Megatins? I forgot.
Nah, not to my knowledge.
So it's just theories because people I wanted Borreload Savage Dragon, but I'm not about to drop $60 for it.
So Borreload Savage is a contender to be in the set for sure because
It's reprinting Savage Strike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's reprinting Savage Strike. As a promo, I don't know, but it could be.
I think that would be really smart to actually sell the Megatins. That'd be an incredibly powerful promo.
Yeah. But yeah, Toon Chaos. It's like the only real meta relevant card it has is Chaos Space for Dragon Link decks.
Which we'll get into.
It's been cool just seeing, especially Ass Piss FTK. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Just I don't know. It's just a really interesting deck, and watching the streamers play it online is.
I hope they don't hit it because I feel like this is like you said, it's a really cool card for Chaos decks. And
Yeah.
I know when we started playing, or me and you, Ahmed, we there was that kid who was playing the Chaos deck. Chaos was actually a pretty like respectable strategy back in like 2012, 2013, and now it's bad outside of like occasionally BA and Thunder Dragon, sorta, kinda. I don't know.
Not really. I've never seen a BA Chaos deck.
Right, so my mic was unplugged for a while there, so that's
Okay,
cool.
well, welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you. So what I was saying really quick is that I support Ass Piss without even really understanding what it is or what it does, just because whenever I see a stream of like a tournament and it says Ass Piss, like that's all I need.
That's all I need in life.
But yeah, that's about it for the sets that have come out lately.
Yeah.
We want to move on to the most controversial topic in a
Sure.
while, the ban lists.
Yeah, we're just a
Yeah.
month late, but
Yeah.
better late than never. You
Yep.
know.
So for anyone who doesn't know, when was the ban list from Konami?
Earlier in June.
I want to say like within
Yeah,
the
I
first
don't
week of
remember the exact
June.
date, but yeah, early June, Konami released a ban list, or quotes, ban list, in which they hit 0 cards and unlimited 3 cards. Those cards being Altergeist Multifaker, let's go, Necroz of Unicorn, and Ritual Beast Altacanahawk. A lot of the community, huge uproar for various reasons, talking about stale meta because Adamantipator Eldritch was pretty much all you saw at big events. This led to the PPG releasing their list, which banned Crystron Needlefiber, Black Dragon, and Scarlet Sanguine.
It limited Scarlet Sanguine.
Oh, limited.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then it unlimited Canahawk,
that's the same card, yeah.
Multifaker, yeah.
Which, if you're making your own PPG ban list at that point, then why not actually, go? I mean, I guess they were just doing it to address the meta, but I mean, I'd be like, all right, here are the cards that we're gonna be playing with. I mean, I guess they wanted to keep it somewhat similar to Konami's, but I don't know.
Here, I'm gonna open this up. Like, what are you guys' thoughts on? Let's start with just the Konami ban list because that'll take a lot less time.
I hate it.
Yeah. I don't mind unbanning cards. I really don't. I don't mind them unbanning or the unlimiting of multi-faker or the letting all those cards go back to 3. What I have a problem with is, I guess we're kind of like in a combo and control format. I guess the most meta relevant OTK deck would be Dinosaur, but like when they limited Red Reboot, that essentially just killed any rogue OTK deck that had to play against something like Eldritch, or at the time it was Guru
Geists,
and
Guru.
Altergeist. I absolutely hate playing against control decks because I don't have the attention span
Sorry.
to yeah,
I'm
no,
very
you're
sorry.
good. I don't have the attention span to actually play that or like play against it. I don't know. It's just
I agree that the Konami list. Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just I feel like they could have gone further. They very obviously knew what was going on because I mean they have to pay attention to like online tournaments and all that kind of stuff and all that.
But they won't acknowledge
But that's the thing.
They
If
won't
they
acknowledge it,
make
exactly.
a list, then they're acknowledging that they exist, and then not only do they have to shut them down, they have to like take a stance on do they buy them out? Do they like what do they do? Do they
Dude,
release
that
their
is a
own?
dream. That is a because like honestly, the best thing for a game is to have an online like simulator for a card game is to have the online simulator, but let people have access to all the cards so they can theory craft. That doesn't hurt your bottom line because they're going to end up going out and getting that stuff. Just don't necessarily offer online tournaments like that. Just like I don't know.
I think we should come back to that. We're kind of veering off topic here on the ban list,
into
but
that.
I definitely want to
interest.
get back to that because I have a few points on that as well. But I agree. I think that the Konami ban list almost seemed unnecessary because it didn't do anything. Like, sure, you gave Altergeist like some more meta relevance, but they were already doing well. Unicorn and Ulticanahawk have done nothing. They have done nothing in the PPG. They have done nothing in the TCG. It seemed like they could have just taken these 3 unlimits and just rolled them into the next list that we actually get.
And I actually think I would have preferred that too. I would have preferred them just coming out with like a statement saying like, "Hey, we know everything's going on right now. We're not going to come out with a ban list until competitions start coming back, or
Which reminder: wear masks, wash your hands.
Please do.
Take care of
Please
yourself.
do.
Take care of yourself. Exercise social distancing. We're all in this together. We all want to play this dumb card game again in person, where we can hand shuffle and feel superior. We want to do that.
Exactly.
Anyway, let's move on to the PPG list, which we can either start by talking about the specific hits or talking about the idea of the PPG list itself. Your guys' choice.
Let's talk about the concept of it.
Okay. I don't like it personally.
I don't like that there's 2 formats, but I understand why there's 2 formats. I wish that this was just Konami's list and we could just play this. But the game, as we'll talk about later, is a little stale right now, and players need some sort of novelty because we're Yu-Gi-Oh players and we can't do the same thing over and over again without getting bored.
Exactly.
Combo decks, excuse me. Anyway, which I mean, I love combo decks. Don't get me wrong. So I'm just shitting on myself here, but so I understand why it happened. I don't like that it needed to happen, but I just found it really hypocritical that the community was like, "Hey, what the fuck, Konami? What is this garbage list?" And then when there's a list with what they wanted hit, they're like, "Ah, no, we don't like this."
See, that's
and I'm in that. Like, I understand that. Like I said, I don't like that there has to be 2 quote unquote competing formats, but I get why it needed to happen.
Yeah.
I'm with you. The only thing I have is I think it's fair for the people who didn't want these hits to be upset. I fall in that. I'm not sure that Needle Fiber needs to be the hit. I'm kind of going back and forth on that, knowing about some
I
of the other
most
stuff.
definitely think it does, but we can
But
get back to that.
I don't know. I think Needle Fiber, as bad as it can seem, also opens up a lot of like lower tier decks to be relevant, and I think that's a good thing. And I want Konami to find a way to do that, and they did really well with Dangers, to be fair. But yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like I know why it happened, and I think the hypocrisy of it is really frustrating too. But I don't like it because I think it's too much of a dream list. Like, I don't know. Every list that comes out from Konami, like, there are hits that people really, really, really wanted, and then there are hits that nobody wanted, and then there are just out there hits. And this seems too much just like well, we don't like these cards. Most of the community doesn't like these cards. Just do this.
Yeah,
So I'm honestly
I can
surprised cards
kind
like
of
mine
agree.
didn't end up on this.
That's fair.
Mine, I am a little bit split on. I think that card has the same place in the format as like something like Dark Ruler or No More, or it's something to keep combo deck or decks that build huge fields in check.
Yeah, I agree.
That being said, if you hit the facilitator to those combo decks, you can then hit the actual cards that stop them. So like, I wouldn't touch mine unless you're going to touch Helka Fibrax, which I do believe at some point in the future, hopefully sooner rather than later, it needs a ban, because it's one of those cards where Konami is going to have to keep that card in mind specifically when they design each and every single tuner going forward.
Yeah.
Whether it be for this archetype, that
And
archetype, a
synchro,
general
and
tuner, a
synchro.
synchro, exactly. That is something they're going to be like, okay, well, we have this really good idea for a card. It's going to help this archetype out perfectly, but we can't print it because Helka Fibrax.
I agree.
Or
I'm
we
just
can print it because of Helka Fibrax.
Exactly.
Yeah. I agree. I'm kind of sad to see that like the PPG didn't go further and hit like Jet Synchron or O-Lion and stuff like that, because I don't think Needle Fiber completely kills that idea. There's
I
still
think it
ways to resolve
does.
those effects in a degenerate strat. You know?
Well, the reason that they didn't hit those is because, well, when you get your Jet Synchron out, what are you going to do with it? You know, you
True.
use it to go into Needle Fiber. You use O-Line as just an extender off of Needle Fiber.
Yeah.
So I don't. I think that would be redundant and excessive hits if they hit either of those.
Do you think Despot double or 001 it should be in the same conversation as Jet Synchron and O-Lion?
Yes.
Yeah.
As much as I hate
that
saying
thing is ridiculous.
yeah. Then none of the Despot 001s, at least to my knowledge, have hard ones per turns. And yeah, 001. As much as I hate saying it, because I actually really like the Despot strategy. 001 needs like something. It is way too powerful.
And then
Just being
there's
able to,
also
yeah.
Auroradon.
See, that's where
Yeah.
I'm torn too. Because
See, Auroradon's like a good way to end the combo because it prevents you from link summoning for the rest of the turn, like at all. But also, it's just okay, cool. You get your Auroradon out, you get your link, or you get your tokens out, and then you get Deskbot out off of those tokens, and then you just make a Boral Savage, you make a Herald after you've done your link summoning for that turn, and then it's like, all right, cool, I'm done.
Okay.
Going
Oh,
into Herald is
speaking.
the most
Okay.
tilting thing, by the way.
Yeah.
Like
So
you going into Herald, it's like,
Yeah,
fuck,
like
I made Herald, dude. I have an extra negate.
Well, no, because like it's so frustrating because I've seen them use Herald to come out and then they use it as material and then they bring it back, and I don't know. It's Herald's an annoying card that I want to see a lot less of.
thing is, I
Yeah,
don't think
that
I'll ever
thing
touch it
negates
because
and
that'll hurt
destroys.
ritual strategies.
No, I don't think it needs to
What?
be like. Wait, yeah, what?
Yeah, Herald of
No.
Arclight.
Yeah, when it's sent to the graveyard, you get to add a ritual or something like
See,
that.
I don't know that. I don't know
okay.
that. I didn't know.
So
Oh, you're
I
right.
do
Yeah,
know
because they
that.
use that to get Soravis. You're right.
Exactly.
You're right.
That's why you run
yeah.
extra foolish burial in ritual decks, like Herald decks and Necroz. Oh, like, well, I guess you don't really need Necroz because you can use monsters from the extra deck. But yeah, no, it's see that's the thing though. There's so many cards in this combo that on their own seem fine, but together they're completely broken. So which one do you hit? Do you hit the Helcathibrax? Do you hit the Auroradon? Do you hit the Link Cross? Or do you hit something obscure to kind of like put a stop in the combo, like the Martial Metal Marcher? Or the or maybe even Hyper Librarian or
not Hyper Librarian. It's
yeah,
already
no, I
limited.
like that. What about what's the other tuner that they go that maybe Formula Synchron,
which is not once per turn.
No, it's absolutely
that
ridiculous.
bitch misses timing though.
Konami like refused to print hard once per turns before like a certain time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
like
still now they forget. Reminder that Sky Strikers exist.
Yeah.
They printed out
If
fucking
Engage had a
Searcher
hard once per
plus
turn, it'd be
Bonus
perfect.
cards.
Yeah.
A
They
bonus
printed that
card.
shit without even like a once per copy.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, this seemed fine. No, but no. I don't know. What do you hit in that combo? And then I also want to get into one more card that I think absolutely deserves a hit, because there's and it kind of hurts rogue strategies too, because that's literally the reason why rogue becomes somewhat meta relevant. And that's True King of all Calamities.
VFD, yes.
Yeah.
No, I think VFD is just unfortunately a hard ban card.
See,
Yeah.
okay, the thing about that though is the reason it's as relevant as it is because of needle fiber.
Yeah.
Because you use needle fiber to get Olion or Deskbot, whatever, and then you do all your fun stuff, and then you go into a Trishula, and then that other Dragon Artillery card. I forgot what it's
And
called.
specifically in dinos too.
In dinosaurs, in mermails, in
Yeah.
whatever the fuck, right?
Speaking of,
and all of
we'll
that
get back
is
to
just
that.
hold on,
Yeah.
is just facilitated by needle fiber. So I think you'd see a lot less VFD if you had no needle fiber, because without needle fiber, it's going to be a lot harder and sometimes impossible to get to your Auroradon, to get to your one of tuners. It's going to be a lot harder to get into your synchro extenders, into your Boral Savages, all that stuff. So I really do think that it's the problem card, because a lot of the time, if you can hit the needle fiber, you don't see those cards that you don't want to see. The needle fibers, or I'm sorry, the VFD is not there. The Boral Savage isn't there. The Herald of Arclight is not there. If you imperm Ash, whatever, the Helcathibrax, it sometimes can be a turn ender. Usually it's not. But those cards that they want to see as negations, just they don't show up. So I really do think that it is the problem card, just based on it being the common denominator in all these things.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, and also a reminder that VFD is already banned. It's just in a different form of a different card called Shockmaster.
That's true.
So I mean, it's already, the justification is already there for it to be banned.
Sure.
It's just that I don't know why they're dragging their feet. Maybe the same argument that I made for like Mystic Mine and stuff like that. As much as I fucking hate Mystic Mine, it's the great
Shane,
equalizer.
you play it.
I played. Actually, I might play it. I don't know.
Bruh.
But you played in rogue decks just so you can actually have a fighting chance, but
I don't.
I don't know. I'm not gonna play it in 10.
Do we want to talk about the other two hits on the list, or are we pretty like okay with those?
We can talk about that. We can talk about it.
I think Black
Briefly.
Dragon is completely understandable. I have
Yeah,
no
that's
complaints about Black
absolutely
Dragon. I think that card is way too strong. I think they shouldn't have reprinted it in the set.
My only argument for it is, and this is one of the other arguments that I heard too, is that if you hit Helcathibrax and Black Dragon, you neuter Adamantipator, and then if you just say, okay, we're just going to limit Sanguine, all right, well then Eldritch is still perfectly, playable.
No. I completely disagree. I think the Sanguine limit also was a pretty big neuter to Eldritch, because the spells are not nearly as powerful as the trap.
But they still accomplish the same thing. I'm literally reading
Eldritch
or the Black Awakening.
Your
yeah,
turn.
Exactly. So they make it play a little bit more fair, because why do you
can't access the elixirs until your end phase because of the trap monsters. the reason Sanguine is so powerful is because you can send one of the trap monsters to the grave, then use it in your end phase to set Sanguine to activate to get Eldritch. You cannot do that with the other two at all unless you somehow already have an Eldritch in grave. That's it. That's it.
All right.
Yeah. Plus,
Okay.
having Sanguine provides more interaction for the deck because you can. Let me remember how
Does
you
Eldritch
order the
even need
chain
more
links.
interaction with all of
Because
the
you do
with
chain link 1 Sanguine, chain link. No. Chain link 1 Conquistador,
Hakero
chain
or
link 2
Conquistador.
Yeah.
chain link 2 Sanguine. And then you get your Eldritch out as chain link 2, and then you get Hakero, or what do you call it? Or Conquistador as chain link 1, and then the effect of it is valid to activate.
Yep.
So it just provides more interaction for the deck. So I think hitting Sanguine's fine because the spells, they only provide interaction on your turn, whereas interacting on your opponent's turn is typically a little bit stronger.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would like to see it at 2. I would like to see it at 2 because it still hits the consistency, but it doesn't like make it so that it's a one and done because there's no way to recycle the card unless you're playing some really, really, really stupid strategy where you're going in. What's the spellcaster that can add any trap from the grave to your hand?
Oh,
Uh,
Magician of, no, that's Magician of Faith is spells, isn't it? No.
yeah, I don't know.
No, I know what you're
There's
talking
one card
about.
we
Yeah.
we
No,
talked
I know
about it
what
a
you're
long time
talking
ago
about.
in the Imperial Order strategy where you like foolish
Oh, you're thinking of Nightmare Griffin.
Am I?
No?
Yeah, so
I have no
curious.
idea.
Wait, hold on. No.
You're right.
It is curious. It's
Yeah,
curious.
it's curious. It's curious.
Yeah,
There it
Curious
is.
Lightstorm Dominion. Yeah.
But yeah, so like, there's no way to recycle this card, so it's literally you get it once and that's it. And unfortunately, that'd be great if Eldritch were a combo deck, but because it's a control deck, you need a little bit more access to the monster that makes all of your cards function. Otherwise, you can only put monsters on the board and occasionally go into like a stupid exceeds.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. Going back to the thing. So you use Curious to send Imperial Order, and then you use Nightmare Griffin
That's the
to
combo.
target whatever
That's
you
it.
sent, and then set it to your field.
So,
Yeah, so it was Nightmare
that's
Griffin.
not feasible. That's not feasible in Eldritch, unfortunately.
So okay, maybe that was just coming from a spot of my hatred for control decks. But you know what? Thinking about it, you're right. That's fine. If you want to have all your copies of Sanguine, that's absolutely okay. And
not
have
even saying
all.
all. I think
No,
at
I
3
know,
it is powerful.
but I'm just saying like an Altergeist 2 and Guru and stuff. That's fine. But then just give me my red reboot back to 3, because there is no feasible way to play against that except for spending $100 and some on Lightning Storm, or just give me like a single copy of Heavy Storm.
reboot back, baby.
Exactly. You know what?
Give
I
me
don't care.
my
I'm proud.
reboot.
I'm happy that I'm whining because
Give me
seriously,
my reboot. Baby rage.
Okay. What I want to say about Eldritch is I'm always for taking out any really degenerate like mashup deck. Like I never liked Sky Striker Orchist. I really didn't like Eldritch Synchron. I would like to see what Eldritch Pure is like because you saw it like every once in a while, but it wasn't really the topping deck, if I'm correct. Like usually it was Invoked Eldritch. It
but see
was
that's
Eldritch
the problem I
Synchron.
have with Eldritch in just general is the fact that by
It's a control deck?
no. Well, yeah, but it's not so much that. And this is why I don't mind. I still hate Altergeist, but I respect Altergeist because Altergeist makes you play Altergeist. You can, like you said yourself, Multi-Faker has that you cannot special summon monsters other than Altergeist monsters this turn,
Yeah.
something like that.
I think we're on the same page
That
here.
is perfect. That is great. I love that in a design because that makes you play. Then Konami has much more room to actually improve a specific archetype. Because if you leave an archetype open like Eldritch that only needs a certain amount of cards, like 3 Golden Lord, 3 Sanguine, and then some of their other traps, and then you have room for an Invoked engine, you have room for a Synchron engine, you have a room for a Lightsworn engine, you have room for all of this kind of stuff, and it's just like, okay, that you're improving the consistency of your deck, it's fine, but it's just like, okay, well, now I have to deal with a Macabo, I have to deal with Hakero, I have to deal with Conquistador. Now I have to deal with not only that, but hand traps, because you're playing hand traps. And if you're playing the Synchron, now I have to play with Borreload, or play against Borreload Savage, all those other traps I said before. And it's just like, okay, well, I want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! This game, like, I know it's a meme now, but this game was designed as a 2-player game.
So due to time constraints here, we should move on.
Yeah.
Do we want to really discuss the meta, or do we want to go into interest in the game and just?
We
I feel like
kind of
we
have
kinda,
been talking.
yeah, I was gonna
about
say, I
it.
think we touched on the meta when talking
that's
about the
true.
ban
That's
list.
true. Let's just really quick. I'm gonna abstain. But what are the top decks of the format? Let's just quickly list them and move on.
Adamancipator, Eldritch,
Let's talk PPG if we can.
oh dear God,
PPG,
okay, that kind of
what's
opens up the
topping
door.
right now is Orcust, Invoked Mekk-Knight, Striker, interestingly.
Striker.
There's
Well,
Subterror
actually.
Madolche list, which I don't know what happened there.
Send me this striker list, because I'm always interested in post needle fiber combos for
Kill me.
or for striker, because I kind of love them. Any other big ones to note?
Just a lot of invoked stuff, which, you know.
Please, okay. One last thing. We're not going to talk about it, but the PPG
Dinosaurs.
list at the end of the day should have hit invoked. Should
I
have hit
agree.
invoked.
Meltdown.
It's the most splashable
Magical
engine in the
Meltdown.
game right now. It's just you just fucking need your 3/3/3 Meltdown, Alistair, invocation. You just throw in all the extra deck monsters. There you go. You just completed the game.
Limit Magic Meltdown.
Anyway, we should move on to interest.
Yep.
And Ahmed, you were the one who brought this up in the planning phase, so I'll let you kind of lead this.
Yeah. So, a lot of the attendance for much of the online events has started to dwindle week by week. Viewership for Yu-Gi-Oh content has also been diminishing as well, and it just seems like, especially now that Konami came out earlier this week and said, "Hey, no organized play at all, at all, at all." It just feels like general interest in the game is decreasing right now, which is completely reasonable because we don't have any real alternative to play the game except for remote duels, which yeah, nice one. And yeah, something we should talk about.
I mean, you can go. You can go.
I was gonna say I definitely understand the lack of an officially supported simulator is really, really rough.
Yeah.
And it makes it really stale because you can only play on Dueling Book for imaginary rating or on Edo Pro for nothing, literally nothing, for so long before you're just clicking buttons and there's no stakes, there's no interest. You're just doing stuff.
And I'll agree with that too. Like, I don't know if it's you guys, but just have the feeling of actually having the cards in your hand is it changes.
It's great.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's irreplaceable.
But you were saying. Never mind. I interrupted.
I'm just saying it's sad to see, but it's the inevitable like happening of having a exclusively physical card game enter a no physical world. And unless Konami does something to support it, like we've just talked about the ban lists over like the past 30 minutes. Konami didn't release a ban list, and so the people who don't want to play by PPG standards are forced to just play the same decks over and over again.
Exactly.
And Konami isn't doing anything to change that, and they're refusing to like accept that, and it's dangerous.
So I was gonna kind of go off of that too, for just a couple of points, and this is coming from somebody who's played, like I said before, Magic the Gathering, played Pokemon for a very limited amount of time, and played this, and I played. Wait, what was that?
Hearthstone?
No, I didn't really play Hearthstone. I didn't get too much into that.
Okay.
Which honestly, speaking now, I like about what I'm about to say. I probably should have, because that's what considered one of the more premier online card games out there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Just go back. Get on.
but anyways, I was going back to what I was saying before, in the fact that Magic Online or MTG Online was kind of bad. But MTG Arena was pretty okay. It did offer you the ability to get cards and everything like that. The Pokemon Online Simulator was very well polished and is very interesting. And had a great way to interact between physical cards and online. I actually love that. I would love to see that in Yu-Gi-Oh, where you get like if Konami did come out with like an official simulator, and in every pack of cards you got like a little card in it that
For an e-pack.
an e-pack, exactly.
The only thing I don't like about that is the cards that you get in the e-pack are not the same as the
I was gonna
cards
say
you
try
got.
to. I don't know how they would do that, but like try to make it so you get the same cards. But I feel like
That's
that would be
dangerous because
very, very
people can
unfeasible.
invent scanners that
Exactly.
So-
Exactly.
So about that, I don't know if we heard, or if you guys heard, but Yu-Gi-Oh or Konami came out with Yu-Gi-Oh Neuron.
Oh yeah, I heard
And
about that.
that scan, if you have a physical card or even a picture of a card, like I love how you can just do it for pictures of cards because you can just go on Google and like there's a photo recognition system on it,
Yeah, I heard about
and
this.
you can take a picture and it recognizes the card and it tries to match it up to the database of what they have. So you don't even need like a code anymore. You can just scan the cards that you got. Alternatively, you could just go online, type in what is it, Dragma Maximus, and then take a picture of that and be like, "Cool, I quote unquote own this."
Exactly.
fuck
That's
Dragma Maximus.
but yeah, no. What I was saying about like the actual like simulators is that I like the current online Yu-Gi-Oh simulators, and if I've never seen it from a company, because MTG, Pokemon, they all have a monetary way for you to get cards. But if if Yu-Gi-Oh was just like, okay, here's an official online simulator, you have access to all the cards, I feel like this is the best way to do it. But yeah, I hope they do that, and I feel like until then, it's it I don't want to see them do like I mean, they're definitely going to, but like a pay kind of way, or even like a subscription, like you subscribe and you get access to all the cards of a certain set
So
or something like
that's
that.
I mentioned that to Ahmed a couple weeks ago that I would pay $10 a month to play Yu-Gi-Oh online and have it be officially licensed. I'm getting Worlds
Exactly.
points or some like online Worlds points equivalent, and like I would play that. I would play
play
that
the
all day.
shit out of that.
I
Yes.
would sit here all day. I'd stream the shit out of that. And
can you imagine what that would do for the Yu-Gi-Oh? That's exactly what we're talking about. That would rejuvenate interest in the game.
Exactly. And they need something like that. And like again, what you were saying earlier is them having a simulator would not hurt their bottom line in any way. In fact, if you put out a simulator, even if only like 10% of the community pays for it, which spoilers, way more than 10% of the community is going to pay for it. I'd say at minimum 25. You're just adding revenue because unfortunately not a lot of people are buying product right now because there's nothing to do with it, but people are still buying product, and that's all that matters.
Game needed to be any more expensive.
Well,
I
yeah,
actually
I
have
mean, I agree. I would totally pay $10 a month
$10
for
a month.
Yu-Gi-Oh
I
online
actually have a
simulator,
agreement
or like
about that.
$60 up front, or I don't know. Or
I
if it was a
agree with
free
you.
simulator, that'd be even cooler.
It'd be
But
great, but
but
Konami.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, except for the one thing. I don't think that the points would actually. Like, I would pay the shit out of $10 a month just to play like Yu-Gi-Oh and have access to all the cards and everything like that. But I don't think it should. I don't think it should be counting towards like actual points for like world championship and stuff like that.
No. So that's
'Cause
why
that
I
would
said an
disenfranchise.
online world's point equivalent. Like have
Exactly.
a
Oh, okay,
street.
okay.
Actually, to be fair, the Street Fighter community has this. Capcom has two separate tournaments that lead up to the Capcom World Cup: the physical tournaments and then the online tournaments. I think it's like 75% of entrants have to like qualify through LAN events, but then they have 25% of the spots open to
Okay.
nothing but online players.
Okay. I see that.
Again, you'd have to own the decks in real life and to get to, or if you wanted to play that deck at Worlds, but they could even do like online Worlds where it's just an online event similar to Worlds.
That's actually a really like cool and interesting. I agree with that full like, and I hope to God they do exactly that. But
and
I
you
also
could have
had
Worlds points be like similar to rank, so that when you're playing, you're not just getting put up against any fucking asshole who's playing Dark Magician. You're playing against players competent and like around your skill level.
Exactly. So have like an MMR. But I had one more thing that maybe, and this will be the last thing, unless you guys had anything else to put in. But one more thing to maybe ignite interest in the game again, and this is still coming from a place of playing, is specifically MTG. So Yu-Gi-Oh does not have a rotating format. Magic does, and this kind of revolves around the like players playing the same stale decks over and over again. I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh. This was more of like a light suggestion because I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh was not designed for a rotating format.
No, and
whereas
that's
other
what
sets or MTG is.
That's part of Yu-Gi-Oh's like personality now is that it's not a rotating set.
See,
every other card game
I was
is.
very on the fence about that, but then there was there was actually a couple other things that I was thinking about too. How would you guys feel about, because right now there's just traditional and advanced. How would you guys feel about a more like other formats that are officially sanctioned for like either casual play or competitive play, like a MTG has a pauper format where you can essentially the equivalent, you could only use common printed cards or cards printed in common. They have something called EDH or Commander, where you can only use one copy of a card per deck, and in Magic it's 100 cards per deck, but in here it would be like 60. And you can only use one copy per card, and do stuff like that. Then there's then there's the rotating formats, but we just kind of covered those. But I feel like a Commander or an EDH equivalent of like of a Yu-Gi-Oh format would be so much fun. Like, can you think of like a 60 card Chaos Mill deck or something like that, or a
I'm not super into that kind of stuff, so I wouldn't pay attention to it personally.
No, I mean it's fair enough.
People are already doing that too.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, make it officially sanctioned so that like at events there'd be like a side event. I wouldn't be like there wouldn't be like
they already kind of have that with things like the sealed only or the sealed only.
I was never a fan of draft. I was never a fan of draft or structure deck kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, I think those aren't great. Well, I like structure deck when it comes to like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon. In my opinion, because it's like it's easy to balance those because you literally just make sure you don't give them like meta breaking cards, and there you go. Or you give them a specific number of meta breaking cards.
Like, don't get me wrong, I like the competitive part of Yu-Gi-Oh, but I also absolutely love casual, and I want them to like meld the two together like into like a competitively casual format. Or maybe I'm just getting idealistic because I'm sure there'll be people who break like a singleton format, like a 60 card single card deck or something like that, into some kind of degenerate FTK or board building thing, or I don't know. I just feel like you'd be able to craft the deck you want with like this strategic thought, instead of just pulling a bunch of cards and putting them together, or buying like an actual pre-made structure deck. I don't know. I feel like an actually officially sanctioned singleton, like a Commander-esque format, would be really, really cool. Will they ever do it? Probably not. But I mean, that's kind of what we're here to talk about. I don't know. That's all I have.
Well, I think that's a good place to call it. I don't really have anything else to say. Any other last calls?
None that come to mind.
No, I'm pretty much done.
Well, thank you for listening. We're gonna try and get the next episode out on a bi-weekly schedule from here. So this has been Table 501 Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm Justin.
I'm Shane.
I'm Ahmed. Thanks for listening.
Yep, thanks for listening. See ya.